Now, the ethics of experimentation. Today, we're going inside the morality of cutting-edge technology that could one day change how we perceive the creation of human life.
A professor at Brown University has reviewed science currently being tested on mice that allows non-reproductive cells, like skin, to be transformed into sperm or egg cells.
Should this conceivable breakthrough advance to humans, it would open a wide range of ethical dilemmas along with scientific possibilities.
Eyewitness News reporter Brian Yokono sat down with that expert to discuss the potential implications. It's a story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
When it comes to reproductive rights, the battle over what's ethical and an individual's rights goes back decades. Now there's a new controversial science, so we turn to a man who has studied medicine and ethics for years.
It's mind-boggling. I still feel that way whenever I talk about it.
Dr. Eli Adashi, a professor of medical science and former dean of medicine at Brown University, is talking about a technology called IVG, in vitro gametogenesis. It's a process of manipulating one kind of a human cell into a different kind of cell.
Of course, everybody who is interested in stem cells is hoping that we will create lungs so that we could replace lung tissue, create hearts so we could replace heart tissue.
As it turns out, the science revealed it was easiest to create sperm and egg cells. Dr. Adashi tells me the ethical questions are like anything we've ever faced.
You move from the normal situation where women, let's say, ovulate a single egg every cycle, or in vitro where at the most you would secure, let's say, 15 to 20 eggs, but no more than that. And here you end up with potentially thousands of eggs. You have to ask yourself, is this something we want to get into as a people?
In addition, Adashi wonders about accessing cells without permission.
What if a skin cell were to be secured from any source without permission, potentially from children, potentially from post-mortem samples? What are the implications of that? How do we regulate that? How do we control that?
Serious questions without answers. Do you limit the number of eggs that can be created or the number of embryos? His suggestion is to talk about it legally, ethically, politically, now.
Now is the time to have a conversation, not against the backdrop of a technology that's already here.
Adashi points out this is all a relatively new science. In fact, the first paper on even the possibility of this happening didn't come out until 2005. He says it's tough to put a timeline on when this science could be applied to human cells. I'm Brian Yokono, Eyewitness News.
Now, the ethics of experimentation. On Eyewitness News at 5, we walk you through a new technology being developed that would allow non-reproductive cells like skin to be manipulated into sperm or egg cells.
As we heard from a science ethics professor at Brown University, there are a lot of ethical questions about the development.
New at 6, the ways this science could help a lot of families. Eyewitness News reporter Brian Yokono has the story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
From injured veterans returning from combat to cancer patients whose treatments left them sterile, one ethics professor says this technology could be life-changing.
The creation of life like we have never before imagined. Experimentation underway on rodents in overseas labs called in vitro gametogenesis could one day allow non-reproductive cells to be converted into human egg or sperm cells. We turn to Dr. Eli Adashi, professor of medical science and former dean of medicine at Brown University, to understand the research and the ethics of this science. For countless families, like those who have received cancer treatment leaving them sterile, he says IVG could open a new world of options.
If you could take a skin cell from these individuals and create eggs and sperm that they no longer have intrinsically, you could potentially allow victims of cancer to build a family.
The same would be true for anyone who experiences trauma to their reproductive organs. Sperm and egg cells are at the core of the research, but there is a larger vision too.
How do we use these cells, for example, to create nerve cells that would allow us to bypass paralysis, for example, in the spinal cord? All of these things are in the works, and in your lifetime, in all likelihood, will happen in one fashion or another.
Word of the science is slowly being picked up around the globe, from Japan and the UK, where the studies are underway, to the New York Times, which just last month published this article, citing Dr. Adashi's ethical study of the science.
Compared to in vitro fertilization, which requires stimulating the ovaries and harvesting eggs, IVG could prove to be more affordable and also less taxing on the body. Dr. Adashi says now is the time to have legal, ethical, and political conversations about where this technology could go. I'm Brian Yacono, Eyewitness News.
Our coverage continues online. For more details and to read Dr. Adashi's essay, go to our website, WPRI.com.